Here we go again. 2 down, 12 to go. Match number 3. Here we go. Hello everyone, I'm Simon Preston and welcome to Reggae Boyz commentary. This is the match preview for Jamaica against Costa Rica at the National Stadium in Costa Rica. Estadio Nacional. Yeah, they call it the National Stadium too in Costa Rica. They used to play at Estadio Ricardo Saprissa, but that's no longer the case. This is the time when we take up history and throw it away. It's that time. Costa Rica, 1 point after 2 games. They drew 0-0 with Panama and they lost 1-0 to Mexico. Back-to-back home games for them. They haven't scored so far in the final round of World Cup qualifying. Let's have a little sneak peek into the history of this fixture. Now, if you thought that Panama was our bogey team, what would you call Costa Rica? Well, let's just say that our record against Costa Rica is not the best. 4 wins, 11 draws, 14 defeats. That's the record against Los Ticos of Costa Rica. A handful of performances stand out in the grand scheme of things from the first time we played them in the 1960s. When was the first time that we defeated them? Well, the first time we defeated them came under René Simoes back in 1995 at the National Stadium. And then 1996 we also beat them again. And 1997 again, all at the National Stadium. And also in a friendly international in 2010. The last time we defeated Costa Rica, I was at the National Stadium. Ryan Johnson scoring for the Jamaicans in the second half. A 1-0 triumph over Costa Rica. Just a shade over 11 years ago. Since then, the record has not been one to be pleased about. A couple of draws in matches that we should have won, in my opinion. But on Costa Rican soil, there's nothing that stands out. Absolutely nothing that stands out. Especially competitive games. What are some of those results that we can reflect on? Well, we have had a draw in Costa Rica, but that was a friendly back in 1996. Apart from that, not many games. Not many. 1997, as we know, John Burton scoring that goal. 2001, we took on Costa Rica in Ricardo Saprissa Stadium. And even though we lost that game 2-1, it was a game that, for me, witnessed one of the greatest ever international goals scored by a Jamaican international. And that was Anandilo. Luis Marin gave Costa Rica an early lead after just 4 minutes. But just a few minutes later, Fitzroy Simpson won back possession, gave the ball to Anandilo at the half line, beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and from an acute angle, smashed the ball into the back of the net past Eric Lonis to get us the equalizer. For me, the greatest ever goal scored by a Jamaican in a World Cup qualifier. In terms of aesthetical pleasing, the quality, the desire, the drive. Anandilo against Costa Rica. So those are some of the memories that I cling on to from this fixture. If you haven't watched it, type in Costa Rica 2, Jamaica 1 in 2001. Anandilo with an absolute gem. An absolute gem. Costa Rica aside, we know Joel Campbell, haven't we? From the 2011 Gold Cup, we've had a sneak peek of what he has been doing. 21 goals in 104 games for Costa Rica. 20 of those goals have come in games that Costa Rica have not lost. So only one of those 21 goals have come in games that Costa Rica have lost. So it shows that he has an impact when he finds the back of the net. So he, at 29 years of age, still going to be a handful for the Costa Ricans. Brian Ruiz, 27 goals to his credit for Costa Rica. And of course, he has scored against Jamaica a handful of occasions. Once in a 3-0 triumph in the 2018 World Cup qualifiers, and quite recently at the Gold Cup in the United States. In terms of players on the Costa Rican team that have Jamaican heritage, there's a few of them. Keisha Fuller is one that has Jamaican heritage. Kendall Waston is another player with Jamaican heritage. Jimmy Martin is another one that has Jamaican heritage. And Joel Campbell. Kenneth Vargas completes the quintet of Costa Ricans who have Jamaican heritage, not by parents, but grandparents or great-grandparents. And we know that story already about persons migrating from Panama and going up north, well, west towards Costa Rica. So that is the journey that they have taken. Costa Rica, as it relates to the table, right now, as we speak, in World Cup qualifying, Costa Rica are 7th and Jamaica are 8th. But the team that is in 3rd place right now, as we speak, Canada, they only have 2 points. So Jamaica, by no means, Jamaica could be 3rd by the end of Wednesday's round of fixtures. Only Panama with 4 and Mexico with 6 will go into the end of this September international period with more points than Jamaica. So there has been a couple of draws. So it's now our turn to pick up some points. So it's all to play for. And come the next international window in October 7 against the United States, October 10 against Canada, and of course, October 13 against Honduras in San Pedro Sula, we're going to need to pick up some points. So that's going to be imperative from our perspective. Drew Fisher, he's going to be the man in the middle for the Costa Rica versus Jamaica encounter. The Canadian has been in charge of international, FIFA matches since 2015, has been in Major League Soccer since 2012, has a good pedigree, and has done quite well. The man from Calgary in Alberta, Canada. He was even appointed as a VAR at the Women's World Cup in France a couple of years ago, and was one of the first referees appointed in the inaugural season in the Canadian Premier League. Dishes out a lot of yellow cards, so we're going to have to be quite mindful of that heading into this encounter. So how should or how can the Jamaicans line up against the Costa Rican team? Well, let's have a look at what I've gone with, shall we? I've gone with a 4-2-3-1. This is the team that I've gone with. So, Andre Blake between the sticks to play his 3rd straight game in the qualifiers. Taxi at left back. I've gone with Javane Brown at right back. I'm still not sure if Alvas Paul is 100% fit. That's why I've gone with Javane Brown, because I trust his defensive ability. And I know that he can offer something going forward. Got a handful of minutes against Mexico. I do think that he's somebody that can neutralize the left-hand side from the Costa Rican perspective. Central defense, Damian Lowe and Adrian Mariappa. In midfield, I've gone with Anthony Grant, comes back into the team. Devon Speedy Williams, as they look to protect the back four. Grant, as we know, that sort of destroyer role. Speedy, collect from the back four and send it towards the front four if you want to look at it from that perspective. So I expect him to continue that role of collect and pass, collect and pass, collect and pass, collect and pass, collect and pass. I've given a game to Tyreek McGee, who will be looking to spring forward into the front three of Corey Burke, Blair Turgott, and Shamar Nicholson. Blair Turgott, as we know, plays in Sweden, so he's not affected by the UK rule of things. Blair Turgott can cut in onto his right foot and shoot. Corey Burke has that avenue, has that range to work hard, and expect him to drift centrally as well and assist Shamar Nicholson. So that is my expectation heading into this game. Reggae Boyz fans, how are you looking forward to this game? Score prediction. (2-1) Costa Rica. That's what I think. But if we leave Costa Rica with a point, I'll be supremely grateful. Supremely grateful. At least we get the motor ticking for the October international window. You know me on this channel, I've always tried to push positivity. But you know I've been objective as well. And I am by no means trying to convince you regarding your views on the head coach, whether you say he should stay or should not. But what I will say is that right now is not a time for division. We have a big game tomorrow and the boys need our support, and they can feel it on social media. They can feel it. Don't think that they don't watch what you say, what you're commenting on social media, on YouTube. They do. They read it. They watch it. Trust me, they do. Everything they read. Now is a time for positivity. And I know you might be saying, but Simon, you just said Costa Rica 2, Jamaica 1. I know. But I want them to win. I don't want them to lose. No. I'm Jamaican born. I'm Jamaican born and bred. I've lived in this country my entire life. The most I've spent outside of Jamaica for one trip is perhaps 8 weeks. Yes, I might have learnt the game in England and travelled to over 30 countries, but Jamaica is where I went to school. Prep, secondary institution, tertiary institution. This is my country, just like this is your country. This is my country and I want them to do well. I would be absolutely the happiest man in this country if we can leave Costa Rica 3 points. Absolutely made up if we could do that. That is what I want. That is what I want to see. And I'm sure that's what you all want to see as well. For the past 5 years, you all know my thoughts about the manager. You all know the thoughts. I don't think it's necessary to repeat what I had to say, but you all heard what I said after the Gold Cup. So, you heard what I had to say. And that video that you saw me do recently about Tapa, etc., is because I'm hearing that I want the manager gone. I said what I had to say after the Gold Cup. I said that 4 points from the first 3 games. If not, then we as fans and those in higher positions as well have every right to question the mood going forward. If there's a change, I support it because I want the best for Jamaican football. I can only tell you the facts, and the facts is that the JFF hierarchy are in support of the manager. So let's focus on what we can do. And what we can do is encourage. What I can do is help the players know the strengths and weaknesses of this Costa Rican team. And what I can tell you is that this is a Costa Rican team that we can beat. We can actually beat this team. Let's throw away history because we can beat them. If Anthony Grant has a similar performance or better than what he did against Mexico, I promise you we're leaving San Jose with at least a point. I want the best for Jamaican football. I'm not trying to hide certain things, or I'm just being honest and upfront. And you all know on this channel you get accuracy, reliability, and credibility. So don't get this impression that I want things to remain the same. No, I don't want things to remain the same. I have a vision to see Jamaica in a World Cup quarterfinal one day. I've had that vision ever since I was a little boy. I've had that vision ever since I was a little boy. You all know my thoughts about Chris Powell. You all know my thoughts about Darren Moore. You all know my thoughts about Joby McAnuff. You all know my thoughts about Adrian Mariappa. You all know my thoughts about Zafan Hines as the future for the hot seat. But right now, let's focus on what we can do. And what can we do? We can give the boys all the support they need. Because tomorrow, we need that win. It's going to be a challenge, guys. But guys, we've only completed 2 of 12 games. That's 1/6 of the campaign, or 16%. By October, if we have 6 defeats, then we all know exactly the writing is on the wall. Let's go. Let's get that win. Let's get the points. Reggae Boyz fans, let me know your prediction in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Reggae Boyz commentary. Take care, lads.